The X-Files. Go back to my video just before this one. Gillian Anderson played on The X-Files. Okay. She's on The Crown. And hi, I'm Willow. I just did a video. This is sort of an attachment to that video. And with a cup of tea, I hope you go get something to drink. Thought I'd do a review on a series called The Crown. Have you seen it? If you've not, I'm going to moisturize because I feel like my face is dry. Anyway, if you haven't watched it, if you're not interested in the monarchy, crown, or if you live in England and you don't care how they spend your money, check it out. People are taxed to death. They're starving to death. They've had nothing but problems, and all the Crown cares about is their yacht, which they did end up selling. But the yacht's part of myself. I give all of myself to my yacht. That's me on the ocean. Bloody hell. Like, the amount of castles they have, they could pay the deficit off. Like, seriously, it's crazy. The movie, I believe in my view, this is all my belief in my view. Correct me, have an opinion, I encourage it. And there's no apologies here if this is offensive to anyone who is a royalist. I don't want to talk about Meghan Markle right off the bat. Just don't want to talk about her. She has nothing to do with the crown as far as I've gone. I don't remember the actress's name, but Gillian Anderson is a really nice contributor. I like her playing the older Margaret Thatcher. I think she did a brilliant part. And she's not a Brit. She did ridiculously amazing. And, oh darn, the lady who played the Queen as a child and then as a woman, young woman, married woman, young mother, loved her to bits. Brilliant English actress, and I cannot remember her name. I liked her. And in fact, I started to kind of feel like I liked the Queen too. But turning a blind eye to a partner that's committing adultery all over the place, I'd kill him or poison him. I would. Get away with it with me. He'd learn real quick. Turning a blind eye means I don't care. That's not love. I don't feel like the Queen, in my personal view, showed her husband an ounce of affection by just letting him do what he wanted. I think it gave him the idea that, yeah, she doesn't care, whatever. I'm just there, you know. My view, for what it's worth, is that when she became queen, when she became sovereign, and was sworn in at whatever age, I think was it 21 or 26? I feel, in my view, it was so, first of all, from the Church of England, right? The Church of England believes that the man is the head of the house. I'm not debating that with anybody. I'm just saying that's what their view is. And I don't understand how head of sovereign would be head of the church and head of her own husband and allow her husband to be ridiculed, put down, take away his name, take away his DNA, basically by saying, you know, Mountbatten, which was already changed from, oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Correct me here, guys. Basically took away his balls. Who does that to her husband? I mean, honestly, if it were me, okay, now or in the past, I would have said, no, I will take the throne with my husband, the king. He would have been reigning side by side with me. The whole thing kind of makes what they did to Margaret. This is the Queen Mother, in my view. The Queen Mother and the Queen herself. How they connived and manipulated Margaret into not marrying the man that, you know, she loved. And then repeated that. Well, go back in history a bit. Hi, baby. The king who abdicated the throne Paul's wearing his new shoes. He's all wobbly. But the king who abdicated the throne, he only abdicated because his wife couldn't rule side by side with him. So there's one relationship that they interfered with to the point where he had to abdicate. And he would have been a good king. He would have been a good one. He had some good ideas for the country and, the Commonwealth. The other relationship, like I said, was Margaret. Completely decimated her. She partied her brains out, smoked her brains out, lived a very unhealthy lifestyle until they broke her. They really broke that lady. And Charles loved Camilla, whether she was with Parker Bowles, Andrew Parker Bowles, or not, irrelevant. The crown, mother, Philip, though they made him miserable too. Can't get a divorce. Divorce isn't optional. I'll just turn a blind eye. That's not a marriage. So she ruined her own marriage until he found a place in the establishment, in my view. Getting Charles to marry Diana was one of the biggest mistakes in the world. That girl was meant to shine. I think she was a rare beauty and a rare find, and that's nothing against Camilla, okay? Nothing. And I don't want to hear any hate here. I feel like Camilla was a pawn. She was madly in love. I mean, she was with Andrew Parker Bowles, but then they broke up, and she found something in Charles that she never expected to find. I think what she found was real love. And as I said, the crown, Her Majesty the Queen, Queen Mother, and Philip went to the Parker Bowles and the Shand family, Camilla's family, and said, arrange a marriage, and it was none of their business. It was none of their business. They're the most heartless, in my view, people. Not all of them. Anne was miserable. They ruined her marriage too. And I really feel like by watching, and I am seeing parts of history, I'm seeing parts of Her Majesty the Queen, the real Queen. The first actress who plays the Queen, when she takes her pledge, and I know that's not the term for it, that's what I'm calling it, I really liked her. I love the young, beautiful woman who was desperately in love to be with her husband and to dance, and she would go away with him on vacation and things like that. But don't they have enough people going away on vacation on the taxpayers' money? Aren't they living off of England enough? They have so many vacations, and I see why Charlie's calling, saying a slim down monarchy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just think he's really mentally crippled, in my view. He needs a woman to make him feel like more of a man. I feel like that came because he had a lack of relationship with his own mom. I think he's going to do a good job. I really do. I think he was very fractured, is what I'm trying to say, in the past. Very fractured. And wouldn't we all be if we didn't get a hug when we were growing up? That boy didn't get a hug. He was taken off to boarding school. And he was a very sensitive, the arts and things like that. He could paint and draw and poetry and well versed in books and education, and brilliant man who just wanted a bloody hug. And the Queen wasn't a mother, she had a position, and that came before her family, it came before her marriage, it came before her children. And it seemed to me like until she had the two younger ones, she started to show a little affection. But that only became, in the movie, it only became something to her because Margaret Thatcher thought her son went missing for a few days, and Margaret Thatcher had said that was her favorite child that was missing. And then Prince Philip said to the Queen, well, you know who your favorite is? We all have favorites. And she's saying, well, who's yours? I don't agree. Very much I don't agree. And he's saying, well, of course, Anne. Anne's my favorite. And she's like, well, of course Anne was his favorite. I mean, she was most like him. But she had to not give a crap. She had to become tough and go against the grain, you know, in order to maneuver her way. But she seemed like an outsider, you know, until. But her and Charles seemed very close throughout their lives. I feel like they brought the times ahead very well. I didn't like the turn of characters. I feel like they could have aged them properly with makeup and things like that. But if they'd done that, I wouldn't have seen Gillian Anderson play Thatcher, and I was really thoroughly impressed. If you watch Outlander, which I won't watch anymore because of the amount of sex in it, it's like, wow. I'm not a prude. I'm married happily, and you only see that way by, you know, having communication and intimacy. I don't want to see it with somebody else. That's pornography to me. But the guy who played her husband, her first husband, is the guy who plays Philip, the second Philip in The Crown. I loved his acting, and surprising too, because I never wanted to see his face again after seeing his genitals. I thought, nope, nope, nope. But he really played and acted the part very much so of a gentleman. And I was very impressed with that work that he put forward. Maybe it's just that way all the time, but it wasn't fun to see him. Well, in Outlander, you'll see, you know, he's played the part of, I don't want to say it, but of doing a man, but raping him. I didn't want to see that. And I guess I projected the actor as being that, but it's acting. I understand that. But I don't want to see, you know, an actor's whatever. Again, in this movie, in The Crown, he plays a really straight lace. Like, you could see that he played Philip better than Philip did. You know, he was good. He was very good. In my view, I'm going to follow his work. I really appreciated what he brought to the table, and the way he would walk, the way he held himself, and the way he had very much aristocratic personality, the way he would just, he walked like a noble. And yet, yeah, he was Prince of Greece, German and Greek. And to have that all taken away, I understand why he partied. When people live the life that young Prince Philip lived, often it's because they're neglected in other areas, and you cannot possibly be the queen, be a mother, run a home, run a country, and be involved in a marriage. I feel like she was attracted to him and he was attracted to her, but there's definitely something lacking there in her. I feel like the characters, all three characters that played the queen, in my view, played the part of somebody I thought she pretty much was, and that was very cold-hearted and definitely not a mother. I'm bringing my own feelings into it because I am a mom of 4, and like her, 3 boys, 1 girl, I loved hugging my kids and letting them know I love them, no matter what. You know I love you, right? You know I love you, right? And I would just reassure them no matter what, because I was never reassured. So I know that that's something children needed, and they can move on in their life from that. But The Crown is really, the movie on Netflix is really making me appreciate the ones that were and are nurturers. I can very much see in, this is off, not from Netflix, but William and Catherine being hands-on, doing a lot of things with their children, being a couple, being parents, that's going to come under scrutiny a lot, and it has already, but especially with him, being second in line. But I can see that they're taking time to be away with family. They're taking time for her to recover. They're taking time to do this as a family. They put their children and family first. I admire that. I really do. And I think it's because Catherine Middleton Mountbatten has stable parents and had lots of love and hugs and cuddles. And she does that with her children. You can see the way they look at both parents. They love them. So maybe she broke the cycle. And that's the only child to speak of. I think honestly she's so much different than the rest. Diana was a mental mess. Not loved. Her mom, leaving boarding school, didn't like that. Punched her, slapped her father in the face for marrying Rain. And a very wild child that needed some, hang on, boundaries in my view. And I think she was a phenomenal mom, very clingy though to her children, and I can see in myself some of that. Very clingy to my children. They need to be let go of so they can, live their own lives. And yeah, but Charles and her, what a catastrophe. And yet 2 beautiful children came out of that. But I very much would have appreciated, I'm sure Charles and Camilla would have appreciated, possibly, that if they hadn't been forced, Camilla and Parker Bowles, to be married and Charles shipped to the Caribbean for 8 months, I really believe that they would have had a life, but she wouldn't have been prepared for it. Maybe that wouldn't have worked out either. Who knows, right? But it's interesting how it's bringing back all the history, and I, again, watch a lot of historical stuff. I watch a lot on Queen Victoria and Albert, and their love life. Wow. And then her with a Scot, of course, because we English broads, we love our Scots. Like, baby. Hi. You must go? Then I must go. I will come back and do another review on another thing, maybe. But continue in the comments, if you will, very respectfully, naturally, and we'll talk another time.